Kyle Harrison just did something for the Giants that he didn't do his entire season in the minors. Let's discuss on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5 on Tuesday, August 29th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Scott White, and it was a great night. A very fun night for waiver wire pitchers. Obviously, at the top, we've got Kyle Harrison, amazing in his second start against the Reds. He went 6 1/3 innings, shutout innings, 3 hits, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts. Scott, your thoughts here on Kyle Harrison, only 44% rostered.
Well, I think this is, I think we all just witnessed the moment when a highly regarded prospect becomes a fantasy standout. I think that's what happened here with Kyle Harrison because, yeah, we've mostly nitpicked him since he was promoted to the majors. We've talked about how he didn't go even more than he only had one start where he went even 5 innings in the minors this year, much less the 6 1/3 that he went in this start. The fact that he had more than 6 walks per 9 in the minors this year. Great. He had 14 or so strikeouts per 9, like a ridiculous strikeout rate. The stuff is off the charts good, but if he's not able to throw enough strikes to A, keep runners from scoring, and B, to stay in the game, what would it amount to actually? But now we've seen he has been able to go the length he needs to go to be useful in fantasy. Also, in 2 starts since arriving in the majors, 65% of his pitches have been for strikes. That's compared to 59% in the minors. I think average is about 64. So he's gone from being well below average in terms of strike rate to actually slightly above average in these 2 starts. Also, his final 2 starts in the minors, which were short, as they all were, no walks between them. And he threw over 70% of his pitches for strikes. The Giants commented on that when they called him up. It was such a small sample, it was hard to know if it meant anything. But now we get these 2 starts in the majors. And, you know, I feel like the Giants probably knew what they were doing, calling him up when they called him up. They probably saw something deeper than we can see in the numbers that we have and decided that Kyle Harrison had turned the corner. I'm to the point now with him thinking like we can probably just disregard the minor league numbers at this point and say this is a very talented pitcher who could take off here over the final month of the season, worth picking up everywhere.
2 follow-up questions. Kyle Harrison or Cole Ragans?
I got to go with Ragans still. Ragans, I've been saying for a few weeks now, he looks like he could be the breakout pitcher of the second half. Harrison is definitely in that discussion, but Ragans has done it for half a dozen starts at this point.
And the other one, Cristian Javier and Lucas Giolito both struggled again on Monday. Would you drop either or both for Kyle Harrison?
Javier's easy. He looks like he's just totally messed up at this point. You know, even when he struggled in past years, it was mostly because too many walks, too many home runs. He didn't give up hits. He missed a ton of bats. He's not doing any of that right now. And I don't know what it would take for me to trust him again in the short time that we have. So easily drop Javier. I think Giolito's struggles recently is more regression to the mean. He was overachieving earlier. I think there's maybe still a little bit to like there with him. But if that was your best bet, if that was your best way of getting Harrison on the roster, the only way you could do it, then yeah, I'd be willing to let him go for Harrison.
All right, let's talk about a few other waiver wire pitchers. Bryan Woo turned in his second scoreless outing of the season. Johan Oviedo threw a 2-hit shutout at the Kansas City Royals. He only allowed 4 base runners in the game with 5 strikeouts. Luis Severino at the Tigers, 7 shutout innings with 8 strikeouts for him. And Wade Miley, another quality start at the Cubs, 6 innings, 2 runs, only 1 strikeout in Wade Miley fashion. Scott, how would you rank this group? Miley, Severino, Oviedo, and Bryan Woo.
I'm going to put Woo at the top. He has a full arsenal of swing and miss pitches. He's actually underperformed his expected ERA this year, according to StatCast. And I think he's going to be the most reliable of these pitchers down the stretch. Oviedo's my second choice just because he's been good recently, 3.17 ERA over his past 9 starts. the FIP, it's worth pointing out, is approaching 5 during that same stretch. So I don't have a lot of faith in Oviedo, but I guess ranking him second shows how little faith I have in the rest of these, because Severino, great start here against the Tigers. Of course, he's been an ace in the past. And he had a quality start last time too, but that start last time, just 2 strikeouts, just 5 swinging strikes. Better numbers as far as that goes in this start, but all the swinging strikes were on the fastball, really. And past Severino, it would have been mostly the slider. That pitch still doesn't seem like it's playing like it would need to for Severino to be anything close to what we remember him being. So I think it's fool's gold. I don't want to buy into it. But he would be third, and then Miley fourth. Was there anybody else?
Nope, just 4 names
Okay.
there.
Yep,
All
Miley
right.
fourth.
For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, the Audacy app, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5, and we will be back again tomorrow. Bye-bye.